Edited. All right, people. Live, uncut, unedited. Live, uncut, unedited. People, come on in. Come on in. Come on in. We There was some things going on today, and we want to talk about it. This is where we tell the truth and shame the devil. All right, Sunday, March 26th. We here. All right. I'm still collecting stars. All right. Appreciate you. All right. All right. That's a fact. Jack, Virginia Beasley, Eric Beblo. All right. Brandon Johnson, it is. Brandon Johnson, it is. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Let's get it going on. Gilda, what's up, Gilda? I see you. Virginia Beasley, I see you. Alvina, what's going on? I see you. I see you. I see you. They had a Get Out Vote rally today. Reverend Al Sharpton came in to speak today on the West Side. And I didn't go today. I was too tired. I was wore out. I was tired. So, but I heard it was nice. And I want a couple of people that went call in and tell me, give me a report of what's going on. It's live, uncut, unedited, people. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Make sure y'all share this video now. All right. What we're going to do, make it happen. Live, uncut, unedited. All right. Feel free to call in. Those of VIP only can call in. Sorry, we got to lock down because we had some people trying to hitchhike our live, and we wasn't going at all. Definitely, I wasn't going. I wasn't going at all. Live, uncut, unedited, people. You already know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited. This is where we tell the truth and shame the devil. I love being black. I love being black. I love being black. All right. That's what it is. All right. Come on in, people. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. All right. Come on in. All right. Come on in. Come on in. 56 people so far, 52. All right. Come on in. Make sure you share it on your page. Jermaine, what's up? Alvina again. Eric again. Sandra Briggs, what's going on? I see you, Peggy. I see you. All right. Monique McCoy, what's going on? Barbara Block, Pee Wee, I see you. I see you. Reginald Moore, what's up, Reggie? I called you early today, Reggie. I don't know if you see my call. Louis Ramsey, what's going on? Modesta Otis, what's going on? Nathan, what's going on, my brother? All right. What's that? Perseverance. All right. Pin code. No, the pin code you got. I'll send you a link if you want to come in. No pin code, baby. No pin code. Ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. I'm gonna let it serve you in because I can't let it get out. It ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Sorry. Sorry. Try to hijack my show. Sorry. Nope. Can't send you the pin code. My dear sister, it ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. At this point, we only got designated people that I got calling in. That's it. Yeah. I'll send you a link. You can come on, put your face on here. You can do it that way. But you would not You want a link? I'll send you a link. You can come on the show. Those that want to talk, if you ain't got the link, I can bring you on the screen. Yeah, I can bring you in on the screen. Yeah, I got to know you. I got to know who you're standing with. Yeah. Jules Smith, what's going on? Christine Denise. Moat Rose Wiles, what's going on? Jedmar Harris, what's going on? All right. Darnell Ville, we're not giving up. We're not giving. Nope, it ain't going to happen, sister. You have opinion, I'll send it to you. You can come on and live. Show your face. I'll send you a link. I don't need you to call in, my sister. I got designated people that's calling in. Yeah. I don't need you to call in. Yeah. I don't need no new calls to call in at all. Y'all ain't been calling in. You don't need to call in now. Sorry. I'll send you a link if you want to come in here and you come on the screen. We can see your face. We could do it that way. That way I can control it. Yeah. Arnett Sessions, what's going on? Vicky, what's going on? Gilda, you said you know me. I'd never call in. Yeah. Crystal, good evening, Martin. All right, Crystal Night Hunter, I see you. I see you. No, y'all can come on in. I don't need, listen, thank you. Whatever message y'all need to leave me, put it in the messenger. All right. All right. We ain't letting nobody come on here. We ain't gonna let nobody turn us around. Turn us around. B-Mo, what's up, man? Black First, that's right. Oh, wow. I tell you. Man, listen, they trying to get in this live so bad, man. They cannot get in this live. I won't allow it. Man, I had over 100 calls, anonymous callers, man, kept calling back to back. It ain't gonna work no more. I shut all that down. If you want to come in here, I'll send you a link. You come on the screen and let me see your face. Yeah. Let me see your face. That's right. You got to be one step ahead. Franklin McLeod, what's up, bro? All right. Glenn, what's going on? Kimberly. See, they want to come in here and disrupt something and get my pen away. It ain't going to happen. That's an old school trick. It ain't going to happen. You ain't going to get me with no pretty face. That don't work with me at all. Vanessa Smith, what's going on? Kimberly Snyder. Y'all know I know what to do. King Ice, Black Man. Loretta Hollis. Yeah. I tell you. Denisha Thomas, what's going on? I tell you. Yeah, you got to have the pen to get in here. You ain't got the pen, it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. Now you can come on the screen. I can make it where you can come on the screen if you ain't got no pen. I don't mind that. So we can see your face. That's how you get rid of the trolls. Lie. All right. You can keep calling in. You don't know that pen, you can't call in this show. Sorry. That's right. You think I'm gonna let this big old head sit up on my in my body and don't use it? I'll tell you. All right, I'm ready to hit too because I want to hear from somebody that was there. I wasn't there. That's it. That's right. That's right. If you ain't been calling in, it ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. People try to hijack my show. That ain't gonna happen. Sorry. I got to tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
And what?
And shame the devil.
Got to. All right. You already know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited. Cincinnati checking in the house. If you're from out of state, check in from what state you're from. Yep. Yep. So we want to talk about the live what we have going on today. They had a rally today, and I definitely want someone that was there to talk about it. Tell me what their thoughts of it. What was it? How was it? All right. That's right. Sucker Free Vegas. That's what I'm talking about. Love Sabrina. What's going on, Love Sabrina? Val. Hey, Val, I don't know if you know, but they changed the date. They pushed the date until Wednesday. I don't know if you're working that day for Brandon Johnson coming in Inglewood. Yeah. They changed the date. That's right. Got to take care. I got to control this platform. That's what it is, Lewis Ramsey. Got to, man. Folks coming on here cussing me out, calling me all types of names and what they're going to do to me. Not on this program. You're not going to do that. You can do it on your page, but you're not going to do it on my page. That's it. Trying to get on here, man. Y'all, listen. One thing about me, I don't do drugs. I don't get high. I'm a thinker. I'm a reader. I'm a meditator. I'm a praying man. And trust me, no weapon that's formed against me shall prosper. Hey, preacher, for greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. I'm more than a conqueror. One can chase 1,000 and two could put 10,000 to flight, and no evil shall come nigh unto thee. All right, Dr. Marcus, I see you on live right now. All right. And I'm not going to see these people trying to get me to send me my pen. No. It won't happen on here. All right, Marcus. So what's going on? Tavinia, Marcus. Brother Marcus.
Yes, sir.
Tell us what happened today, man.
Yes.
Tell us what's happened. We got enough people on here to get started. 94 altogether. Come on with it. Tell us, give us your opinion. What's your thoughts? And
the new Mount Pilgrim Church at 4301 West Washington, Pastor Hatch place. He was the host church for Reverend Al Sharpton, who was the keynote speaker today. Basically, it was a get out to vote rally. And both of the candidates was invited there, but only one showed up. However, the other candidate's supporters showed up. And what I noticed at the beginning was a Make America Great sign with Paul Vallis on it. And I shot pictures of that inside the church. And it wasn't until a lady who was holding it up proudly noticed that I was really shooting pictures of it. She took it down and tucked it away.
Oh, wow.
And it was mostly Brandon Jonathan supporters. Carolyn J. Ruff was there. She listens to your show. And she could be listening right now. Wallace Gaylor Bradley was there. Danny Davis, Congressman Danny K. Davis was in the house. And I believe the city treasurer was there as well. She spoke. But the main speakers were Al Sharpton and Brandon Johnson.
Oh, wow.
And, of course, Reverend Hatch and Reverend Ira Ackery, if I'm pronouncing it right.
Yeah. So what was the turnout?
They were all there. It was packed. It was packed.
How many people? How many people you think was in that total? 500, 1,000?
Well, I would say that's a big church. I would say maybe 500.
Okay. 500. Okay.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
Was the media there outside yourself?
Yeah, it was media. It was plenty of media.
Okay.
They were there. They were in the corner. And then there were Brandon Johnson's campaign photographers. They were there. But it was media as well as the church photographers and media people. It was media. I would say Channel 7, 9, and maybe 5 was there. I can't say if Fox was there, but I do know that they had their corner, and it was a lot of video cameras there. And it was a lot of people. And the main chant across the sanctuary was Brandon Johnson. Wallace Gaylor Bradley did tell me that he was going for Brandon Johnson.
Okay. He's going with the brother, huh?
So I was sitting on the same row. Yeah, he's going with the brother. I was sitting on the same row with Danny K. Davis, Reverend Paul Jakes, a few other people that was there. There's a lot of preachers there. All the preachers. I wouldn't say all the preachers on the west side, but a large number.
Okay.
Of preachers.
Okay.
Was there.
So tell me what was
Mark Wallace was there.
Okay, Mark Wallace. Yeah, I figured he would be there. Tell me what some of the things they were talking about in the Get Out rally. I mean, tell my audience what was they talking about.
Well, basically, Al Sharpton stated about this is a historical election and people should come out and vote, because when King came to Chicago, he was he called Chicago as being one of the most segregated cities in the country. And Al Sharpton reminded of that, saying that it is still segregated and that people need to get out and vote. No one should have to beg Black people to come out and vote when people fought and died for that right for them to come out. And now that you have the right, use it. Exercise your right. Go cast the ballot. Vote. Because you still live in one of the most racist cities in the United States of America and possibly the world.
So you tell me you telling me racism still exists in 2023?
In the city of Chicago, we still in the Stone Age. Look at our neighborhoods, Martin. He's right. Look at our neighborhoods. What have we really accomplished? We still live in what is called predominantly Black neighborhoods. The Hispanics live in their section, the Chinese in their section, and the whites are in their section, including the poor whites are in their section. Everybody's in their section. You go to other states and you go to other cities, southern cities, like I've been to Memphis, and you'd be surprised how white people treat you. It's a total difference. And you would expect them in Memphis to treat you like you saw in the history books. It's a total difference. You know, I'm not going to say white people up here won't hold the door for a Black person, but very few of them will hold the door open for you here. Whereas an out-of-towner white person will proudly hold the door open for you. It's a huge difference. Chicago, we're living in the Stone Age. That's why we haven't moved forward. And then Eric from the Crusader asked me, he says, I don't understand why Black people won't come out and vote like they should. I said, well, Black people have been duped by other Black people. So their morale of voting is down. Their morale of voting is down. And so right now, the average Black person is walking around here saying, hell, it doesn't matter to them because they've been sold promises before by Black candidates. So they have adopted this wrong set of mind that it's not even worth voting. I almost fell into that category, but I still vote no matter what because people fought, died, they prayed for us to have this right. And voting does work. We should get out and exercise our right and vote. Vote. Do not be intimidated. do not be afraid. Early voting is going on right now.
Yeah.
And although there's a high turnout in the area that I live in, I would like to see it in every black ward, a high turnout. Because if it's a high turnout in the early voting, I already know what the polls are going to say.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me ask you a question, Marcus. Black people, I think a lot of youth that don't vote. You know, 18, I think that the number is like 18 to like 35 or something like that. They're the ones that don't come out and vote. Why you think that?
Well, some of our black youth they don't care attitude. It doesn't matter to them. They trying to get money. Just like you all down there protesting Laquan McDonald, right? And you can attest with me, you can agree with me that the whites outnumbered the blacks that was at the protest.
Mm-hmm.
So it was on the Trayvon Martin protest in Occupy Chicago. And I remember one white guy who was a part of the teachers union, he stood up and said, "We're fighting for the black kids." And there weren't many blacks out there. The blacks that was out there, they was just trying to get in the newspaper, which is sad. I think a lot of young people don't know how important this is. And then they've been, by them going off to college, they've been around, they got white friends, and they really don't understand that they don't know that Chicago has been considered one of the most racist cities in the world compared to Johannesburg, Africa.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't think they understand it. I don't think that's why they're not coming out and voting. They don't care. And then the other half of that is they're looking at how is it going to benefit them? Does it really matter who gets in City Hall? Does it really matter who's in the White House? Is it going to change the way they're living right now? Is it going to be an overnight change? It's some people that in that age category, they're living in poverty. They have done everything right and still haven't gotten nowhere in life.
Mm-hmm.
And so they probably feel like, hell, it's not even worth me voting. What good is my vote going to do? And then you have people from different religious organizations, you know, they used to preach, your vote ain't no good. Voting is a joke. And so that's in their mind. A lot of young people are confused at that age. All I can say is when I became 18 and a guy asked me over here at the DMV to register to vote, I registered to vote. And at that time, Clinton was running for president. So I had no choice but to vote for President Clinton because we didn't have a black person running.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think that our kids need to be educated on the importance of voting. And that started with me at home. But I think it needs to be educated. Black teachers out here in these schools need to really push that in their class some kind of way. The coaches, the football coaches, the basketball coaches need to push it to their kids that they have right there. They need to put it in their mindset just like they will put the plays in their mindset.
Mm-hmm.
They need to teach them about the importance of voting. In practice, I will give them advice. In practice, in your practice, include somebody. Give your team a drill. Not just drills on the court, but drills while they're sitting down. They should know something. They should know who their alderman is. Make them know who their alderman is. Make them find out who their state rep is. Make them find out about Congress and all that and how it works. And then maybe we will flip the script and young people will come out and vote because the power is in their vote. The power is in their vote. And I hope they hear me. You have the power to stop police brutality. You have the power to crush the Proud Boys. You have the power to crush this white supremacy agenda. Whether you black, white, Hispanic, Chinese, don't let them divide us and cause us to hate each other. We all got bad. We all got criminals in our race. If we come together, and I'm talking to the young people, if you all come together and really study the candidates and go out and vote, you have the power to change the future of this country and make it live up to what it says it lives up to in its pledge. make it stand on it and be true about it. But if you don't get out and vote, if you don't start caring and taking politics seriously, if it was a rapper running for mayor, we wouldn't be able to get to the polling place, Martin.
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't be able to get out the vote rallies because it would be packed. It would be special security. If Lil Durk was running for mayor, NBA Youngboy was running for mayor, here in Chicago, Paul Vallis wouldn't have a chance. He would have already lost because the young people would come out and vote for their favorite rapper. If Chance ran for mayor, he would probably win because young people can decide this whole election. They can decide this election overnight if they come out on April the 4th and vote. And vote. My advice to you all is vote for somebody that look like you all. Vote for Brandon. I'm not saying that he's the Black Jesus. I'm not saying that when he get in office, things are going to change for you overnight.
No.
But vote, keep that seat. Because if we lose that seat, they're going to push us out the city. They're going to price us out the city so that we can't get that seat no more. And then our Black aldermen are going to lose their seats. And we're going to be back to the 1930s, not the 50s, the 1930s, where they want y'all in jail doing backbreaking work for free.
Mm-hmm.
Young people, you have the power in your hands. You have it in your mindset. A little boy, matter of fact, at that very church, touched my camera. He knew how to operate my camera better than I did because these kids are born knowing technology.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You all have the power to shape this country. You don't have to burn down one store. You don't have to shoot at one police officer. Shoot at that police officer that you don't like, that's mistreated you by going out and voting April the 4th. Shoot them down that way.
That's how you do it that way.
Vote.
Mm-hmm.
Right. When you cast your vote do count. Don't let nobody tell you it don't.
Because if you shooting, you could shoot somebody by voting against what they're trying to do. That's shooting them down right there. You never shot a real bullet or gun. And that's it, Marcus. You spoke a lot of truth here. Now, go ahead, Doc. Go ahead, Marcus.
You don't have to kill nobody. Go to Springfield. Look, whoever become mayor, young people, listen to me. Young Black people. I'm going to talk to my young Black people while I have the opportunity. I don't have to include nobody else because our young people are the ones that are not voting. Young Black people, 18, 19 years old. Think about your little brother. Think about your little homie that you lost, that you wearing the shirt on your body right now, whose life could have been saved. Do you know that I have heard that 911, when you dial 911, it takes an hour? Well, 911 put me on hold when I was carjacked for 45 minutes twice while I'm at the gas station. Until finally the people at the gas station convinced me to go to the police station. And I'm like, how am I get there? I got to pay to ride CTA. I had to tell the bus driver my story, and she just let me on for free and shook her head. So do you know, young people, when you vote, you can change how 911 operates for you? You can get better hospitals in your neighborhood. You can change things because when they notice that you're voting, politicians are going to move. They know that you vote. Poll watchers play an important role. Poll watchers, when you go to the polls and they yell out your name, they're yelling it out for a reason. The poll watcher pulls out this long sheet. He scratches off your name. He knows everybody in your house that's registered to vote because it's on that sheet. If everybody in your house come out to vote, sons and daughters, guess what's going to happen? When you have to call your alderman, I need my tree trimmed. I got a rat problem. They coming to you. You first priority. It's their job anyway, but you are a registered voter. You come from a house of registered voters. That's what they're looking at. And they don't want to lose that vote. It doesn't matter if you didn't vote for Paul Vallis or not. They're going to still look at the fact that you are a registered voter. So your vote carries weight. Don't let nobody tell you it doesn't. If you go to Springfield and flood that lobby, don't tell them you coming. When them House representatives see y'all in that balcony and they passing these laws and they see that y'all in that balcony, they're going to call out the state troopers. That's what they always do when they see a group of black youth, right? You just be calm. Don't go down there at the state capitol acting ignorant. Act like you got some sense and stare those politicians in their face because you put them there. They're representing you, and you want to oversee what they're doing so that they do it right, because they're in Springfield playing let's make a deal on all our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's over, when the show is over, they're behind doors shaking hands with each other. You understand?
Skinning and grinning.
Put some fear into them. When they get tired of seeing y'all angry young black kids, you don't have to tear up one stove. You don't have to shoot at one cop. You getting up in the cop's face saying F them with your cell phone rolling, that ain't going to do no good. Get out and go vote. Learn how this system operates. And you can go to the state capitol and sit in and watch how it operates. Become a lobbyist. Go to the CAPS meetings. Sit there and look those police in the eye. Let them know that you're angry. Let them know that you're afraid that they're not doing their job. Make them do their job, but you don't have to fire one gun. You don't have to throw one brick. All you have to do is cast your vote and go in there with some sense. Don't go in there cussing and fighting and acting ignorant because they know how to handle it. That's what Martin Luther King meant about they know how to deal with violence, but they don't know how to deal with nonviolence. They don't know how to deal with young people with some sense. They know how to deal with young people who go in there acting stupid, but they don't know how to deal with you when you go in there numbers strong and you're silent and you're looking at them with that mean mugging look like, y'all gonna do something or we gonna do something. We gonna vote y'all out of office. And we gonna and let me close by saying this, young people. Willie Preston, Senator Willie Preston, came out of Inglewood. He wasn't perfect, but he got his life together, and look where he's sitting at today. You can do the same. You can be the mayor. You can be an alderman. You want to change things in your neighborhood right now? You can run for alderman, and you can do it. You can be a state rep. You can be a lobbyist. You can be a police officer. You can change the way things operate in law enforcement, and it doesn't matter who's in City Hall. You can change it.
Okay, Marcus.
Mark, I'll let you take it from there.
Okay, thank you. I got another caller. I'm going to see what the call. Hey, caller, you're live, uncut, unedited, 7708. Hey, caller, and make your comment.
All right, Mark. How we doing?
Oh, man, it's good to be living in the land of the living. Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yes. Well, appreciate you having me tonight. I want to speak on some of the things that were said earlier by the brother Marcus.
Mm-hmm.
And before I say anything, him and I have been on the line several times. I don't know him personally, but I'm sure my voice is familiar. And I just want to say to the listeners that even though it might be some points of his that I don't agree with, him and I have never got into it. We have opposing viewpoints at times. And I appreciate being able to be on a platform where two black men to talk about their perspectives based on their experience, their age, and different things and how they came to that conclusion. It's no bloodshed. It's all love. You know what I mean? He's my elder, Martin. You're my elder, and I respect where y'all come from, even though I may have an opposing viewpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that to say there's a few things that I might oppose in terms of voting. A lot of times, black people, we've been voting for a minute, and I can't, in my lifetime, and maybe you all can speak to this better than me and educate me, but I haven't seen the correlation between, we vote for the person, we get our guy in office, and he or she is actually able to help what's going on for my day to day. I agree with the task of, let's see who your alderman is. Let's find out who the community leaders are. But I would also do a scavenger hunt and say, well, let me find who my daddy is. And the dads, let me find out who my kids are. Let's do a group DNA test. Let's get these dads back connected with their family. Like, before I find out who my alderman is, I need to find out where I come from. And I'm not talking about a country of origin or nothing like that in terms of our culture. I'm talking about my lineage. Who was my father? Why did my mom have sex with all these different men? Because before we find out who we are and where we came from, how we got this life, how can I even, like, in order to participate in that process, you almost have to have your life together. So if I'm confused and my identity is not, it's not solved, I'm lost for a lot of these young people that we're talking about. I ain't got time to be thinking about who I'm gonna vote for, because that's not gonna help me bring my family back together. That's not gonna help me with my anger issues. That's not gonna help me really get myself together. And I think that's where a lot of young people are coming from. Not to say they all come from broken families, but a lot of them, that's what they got going on. So to ask them to be a part of the political process, I think there's some steps that need to happen before that. You know what I mean? And so a lot of them also, when you look at school, a lot of young people are not going to college. There's a shift in that too. They say, look, that old way not working no more. Going to school 4 years, getting a liberal arts degree in sociology or journalism, you're going to be broke. You're going to stack up all this student loan debt. You're not going to find a job that's going to compensate you, and you're going to be a part of the working poor. Similar to what Marcus was talking about. You done went to school and you're still poor. So you're not even able to compete globally. So I didn't went to school. That was some BS. I'm still broke. I didn't voted for this person. They in the office. They not able to help me. That's some BS. So F the system. I'm going to do it my own way and get it how I feel, because it hasn't worked for me. And what I'm saying is, it's a shift in the educational process, the political process. These young people is just not buying into it across the board. And they saying it just hasn't worked. And I think it's more of that going on more than anything. How's me voting for anybody going to change my day-to-day circumstances? Then, okay, let's say I do vote. You want me to vote for the candidate you want me to vote for. So if I say I want to vote, but then I say I'm a Trump supporter, you're going to get down on me and talk about me anyway. So it's just like, well, what you want me to do? I think it's more factors going on that we need to highlight before we just push people to vote. People got to kind of get their lives in order. And that's all I want to say.
Marcus, you got to respond to that.
Can I respond?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Marcus.
Yeah, I'm going to respond to a couple of things. You know, brother, I respect you. I was one of those young people who, I was young at one time. And so I can only speak. I know that time is gone, but there are some things that's still around. And at the age of 18, I was taught at home, whether my father was in my household or not, I was still taught about the importance of voting. I was taught where I came from before I set foot in any school. And that's why I go back to the parent. Unfortunately, we have parents today that didn't have that teaching. I didn't come from a rich family now, as far as money-wise, but I came from a rich family as far as knowledge. From Mississippi, my mother picked cotton at the age of 5 years old at the break of dawn. All right, those are the stories that I was told. And I think that Black families have gotten away from telling their children where they came from, and maybe they are, and the kids just ain't hearing them today because they live in a different way today. I'm not young today, so I'm learning from you. I'm learning from your perspective. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, a lot of young people don't know that if you go to that alderman's office, I went to the 17th Ward alderman's office when the Park District tried to railroad me out of a summer job. I fought for a summer job. I didn't think that Alderman Terry Peterson was going to get back to me, but he walked out of a meeting to get back to me. And because I was fighting for a summer job, because I was a registered voter, I was able to get that job back. And that white boy almost lost his job. I think that a lot of us don't know that your alderman has jobs in their office, but they're not going to publicly tell you because, you know, it's family first. It's family and friends first. That's how some of us are. You have to continue to go up there, look on that board, and then let that all. I'm a registered voter. I come from a house full of voters. I need a job. You have to keep putting your face in that alderman's face. Is it going to do any good? Is it going to change your life? I'm not going to say that it's going to make everything perfect, but it's worth a try. We got to keep trying. We got people that don't look like us working in our neighborhood, fixing our streets, and they don't look like us, tearing down buildings, and they don't look like us. We have got to keep pushing these politicians to be accountable. I'm not saying that if you vote for Brandon or if you don't vote for Brandon, then I'm going to be mad with you. I don't know who you're voting for when you go in that voting booth. That's the purpose of going in there. And nobody see you. Only way I'll know is if you tell me you voted for Paul Vallas. You don't have to tell nobody who you voted for. So that will squash people from coming at you because no one knows what you're going in there to do. They just know that you went in there and voted. You ain't got to tell them when you walk out, I voted for Paul Vallas. I voted for Brandon Johnson. No. That's why they used to have a curtain over the booth. Now you go in there, they just got a little thing around it, and you do your thing. No one should be mad at nobody for the way they voted. And that's the ridiculous part about this whole election. You got people out here blaming people about signs and all of that. And these kids are watching this. So I'm learning from you about how they think today. I can only speak on how I and the people that I came up with thought back in the day. And I think some of that back in the day is still there to a certain degree. You should still register to vote, even though you may not know who your father is, even though you may not know who your mother is, even though you're going through the hardest and most darkest moments in your life. At least exercise your citizen's right to vote, and maybe your vote will put somebody in there. Or better yet, study politics for yourself. And as far as the college thing, I don't blame a lot of young people for not going to college. There are some things you don't need to go to college for to learn. They took the trades out of high school, making you pay to go 4 years and you still got to eat. What is 4 years from now going to do for you now, right now? That's the way some of them are thinking. You are right. I went to college. I dropped out twice because I was thinking like that. I didn't complete college. I was thinking like that. How is 4 years then now is going to help me now? I'm going here for 4 years to learn what? I dropped out of school for things that I already knew that I could learn on the computer. So I don't blame these young people for saying I'm not going to college. And then they're stuck with a bill that they got to spend a lifetime paying for. Something that you could teach in kindergarten. You can teach in third grade. You could teach photography in first grade. You could teach a kid how to fix a car, hands-on training. I will go so far as to teach a 12-year-old how to put brakes on a car. If you're the adult and you teaching them, if they can be like,
well, can I say this real quick? I think it's been a paradigm shift. Like my parents' generation, my parents almost in their 70s, a lot of them, a great percentage of them did not go to college. And then a lot of their offspring, like myself, it was a big push to go to college. Matter of fact, they say, look, don't worry about how you're going to pay for it, just go. And I bought into that system. We got student loans for you, financial aid, and here I am. You would think I went to school to be an attorney with all my student loans because I didn't understand the business of college, which was, and it had nothing to do with going to school and doing the assignments. It had nothing to do with that. Learning what's on campus and a lot of stuff I had to be nosy. It was stuff that I paid for that I didn't even know I had. I could have studied abroad all 4 years because the school I went to was pushing diversity, but it was a predominantly white institution. But because of that, they was trying to use a lot of colorful faces on their websites and a lot of stuff they would do. I could have took advantage of it knowing that they was taking advantage of me and could have really, I went on the camping trip once. I bought all the stuff. Little did I know I could have rented all that stuff for free because as a student, I had access to all that studio equipment, all of this stuff. And so similar to like these aldermen in the community, I shouldn't have to go to you, even though I there's some ownership on my part. I expect you as a public servant, man, come knock on my door. Man, we got jobs for y'all. Because it takes a certain level of understanding for me to even know to even go down there. So I need them to hit the blocks and get on the feet, on the grounds, and let me know what y'all have, because if you depend on me to come knocking on your door, it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? So just like in that school, I had to go and be nosy to find out, man, I get all of this stuff afforded to me, and no one told me, and I don't think they wanted to tell me. They had all type of funds, all type of scholarships that was not being, none of the stuff was being redeemed at all. All type of stuff that just sitting there. They had to give a lot of money back to the donors because no one was taking advantage of it. And so, same thing happens in politics. And so, one thing I will say though, Marcus, and I'm 40 years old, I'm younger than you, is some things that people told me at 12 and 13 that I'm just now starting to understand. So even if you tell the young folks right now, it don't always hit them when it's supposed to hit them. Because again, your life have to be a certain type of way to even understand. There's some books that I read 5 times. Every time I get something different because my understanding is different. And so telling them about the importance of voting right now, I respect that perspective. But is it really going to hit them the way it needs to? Because if they're not having to worry about property taxes and different things like that, Social Security, how is it really affecting me? Other than you just give my vote, you just trying to get in there. You know, a lot of them don't understand the impact of what voting can do for them in their life until they graduate to different developmental stages in life. You know what I'm saying?
Well, look at it like this. Maybe now they don't understand, but there's a future coming, because we didn't think we was going to ever see a black president in the White House.
We never.
We didn't think that.
I ain't never think that. Not in my lifetime.
Well, up until Obama won, and then I saw it on the TV, and the major networks was projecting him to be the winner before they finished counting all the votes up, and I'm like, this could be. I'm here to see this. This can't be America. I got to be them sniff something. That's what was going through my mind. I still could not believe it until they started shooting up in the air around my house. And that's when it hit that Obama was now our president. Now, the question is, a lot of black people didn't like him because he didn't deliver the way we expected him to deliver. We expected him to change our lives overnight because he was our black president, and his excuse was he's America's president. But when Harold Washington, you mentioned what politicians did do for us. Harold Washington came in. He wasn't there long enough. But if you ever take out your garbage, right, and you dump your garbage in them plastic receptacles, Martin, Chicago had a huge rat problem. Remember we had them little barrels, them little oil tanker barrels? Yeah. Harold Washington did that. The black community was the first to get that. I believe Harold Washington also said he's doing for his people. He's Chicago's mayor, but he's going to do for his people first because his people have been deprived of the resources that they should have. And a lot of black people got their jobs in these big cities like the Park District and all of that, and streets of sanitation when Harold Washington got in office, because they were denying black people contracts and all of that. So Harold Washington worked tirelessly trying to help black people, but it was some black people who stabbed him in the back. Because some of us don't want change. Some of us want to be the same. And reason why I speak highly of these young black kids is because I get sick of seeing them dying on the streets. And I know that they're better than that. I get sick of when you listen to their music. Not all rap music is bad music. It's a cry for help. They're crying out for help. They're crying. They're angry. They're frustrated. They see things and they see stuff being taken from them by the same system. So, I mean, you could help me out, Rev. I mean, you're younger than I am, and you are around a lot of young people. Help the older people to understand the way these young people are thinking today. And I would say that to any young person that's on your live, that's listening to your live, help us understand. And there are some older people who are set in their ways and don't want to listen. But look, I'm one that wants to listen. That's why I'm alive. I grew up in Inglewood because I was listening to young people, where to go and where not to go. So
I think that's the key right there. I think, and I'm young, but I'm not like, I don't speak their language. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the kind of the demographic that you're speaking about. And so there's a disconnect between me and them. Even though I am youthful and can speak their language, I'm not their peer. And so the best thing I think to do is bring them to the table and hear their voices. And hear, like, I can't speak for them. You know what I mean? But if they're not at the table, it's kind of hard. But so getting some young advocates to come in there and speak their opinion, how they feel and what's going on from their perspective, because I'm a generation or two removed from what's going on with some of the new voters right now, you know. But like I said, there's a paradigm shift. And so there's a new attitude about marriage, about education, about politics. People not getting married like they used to. Like, the younger generation ain't buying into none of this stuff no more. It's just all across the board. It's not just politics. And so that's all. It's a shift, and they just not buying into the old way. You know, it's women marrying women. I just seen the Queen James version of the Bible. I mean, it's going down. It's crazy out here.
Mm-hmm.
They're not respecting nothing.
Y'all hold it right there. I got a new caller. 7956. They on the road. Where you calling from, caller? Caller?
How you doing, Martin?
All right. How you doing, Nate?
How you doing, Martin? It's Nate.
What's up, Nate? Come on with it.
Yeah, how's it going?
What you got to say to us?
What we talking about tonight?
Oh, you don't know what we talking about? Well, you got to sit quiet and listen. Then you can jump in. Because okay, listen, okay?
Okay.
Just sit quiet and you listen. Okay. Now, let me just make an opinion on both of you guys. Now, a lot of young people don't know the importance of voting. Have you guys ever heard the term said that you are illiterate? So they politically illiterate. So in the same way, we could be financially illiterate. So I understand the brother was saying that they're trying to eat and all that, but some politicians, they make and they vote on and they make policy things that can affect us, period. Give you an example. For those of us that had suspended driver license, if you get 10 or more tickets here in the city of Chicago, state of Illinois, your license automatically suspended. By Lori being the mayor of the city of Chicago, she made a bill that your license can no longer be suspended for tickets. So that helped a lot of people all across the board, black, white, Asian, everything. That helped. Now imagine if somebody else would have got in there and wouldn't have even looked at, paid attention at that law. So little things like that helps that the politicians make decisions. Even with myself, chasing crime. Now, everybody know I ride around with a scanner, head a scanner, listen to it. But now they have encrypted the scanner where you can't hear it. The politician, Lori Lightfoot, she did that. She made that happen. You still can hear it about 30 minutes later on the app. So politicians, regardless, one way or another, they make decisions. Marcus, you can remember this. I don't know if you, my West Side brother, can remember this. In the city of Chicago, I remember Pastor Minks had got into it with some police officers about frisk, pulling people over, stopping frisk and all that. And listen, by political people, they done away with that. Now, that was one of the police rules, that they can do that. They can stop and frisk you. If you look like you a certain way, they can stop and frisk you. We're not trying to go back to that. And if we let this character in, he might take us back to that. So that's all I'm saying.
And Martin, let me throw another one out there for you.
Go ahead.
The death penalty.
Yes.
They put an end. George Ryan, Governor George Ryan, was a Republican. He gets a bad rep. And the real reason why they got rid of him, he stopped that death penalty. Guess who was being executed? Blacks and people who were, they would pick up people who were slow, meaning, I don't want to use the R word, but they would pick up people who were considered that and put a murder on them, and they get the death penalty. Judge George Ryan stopped it. And that's why they went after him.
Let's say
so
this.
Politicians make law.
They was wrongfully executing people, wrongfully. And so in order to just weave everything out, just stop it, period. So we might get this politician back in. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I'm saying.
Somebody said
he stopped it because he said it was messed up.
Somebody said that stop and frisk is needed. It's not needed. And see, the thing is, people, and most black people said it. Black people, listen to me. Somebody got to turn their phone down. I hear their phone. They are Facebook down. Echo. All right. All right. Now, black people, listen to me. Anytime a white person says something, that don't mean it's always right for black people. You got those black people, whatever white people say, they agree, they on board with it. Whatever. Now, when somebody like one of these intelligent brothers on my live right now say something, we want to question it, we want to debate it and everything. But if the white man come on here and say it's law, that's what it is. He know what he's talking about. And it's sad. Well, say, well, Martin, well, why are you saying this? I'm saying this because we don't need no stop and frisk at all. We don't need that. Because from a stop and frisk can come to something being escalated. Do you know, and I think I said this last night, most police shootings, not all of them, are stemmed from traffic stops. Traffic stops gone bad. I'm telling you, do your research, do a little studying. That's all I'm saying, people. This thing is real. Nathan?
Yeah, I'm here.
Now you can talk now. If you kind of figure out where we're going. Can you talk now? You kind of figure out where we're going, or you want to hold on?
Yeah. No, I can talk now.
Okay, go ahead.
You know, I can remember, starting out voting at the age of 18. I really didn't understand the importance of voting because I was young. I do remember that Lamir Alston, before he got deceased when Terry Alston took over. And that's when I kind of had some understanding, but I didn't really understand it. I was just voting just to be voting because it wasn't explained to me at a young age. So a lot of young people, the reason why that they don't vote is because they don't understand the importance of voting because it has not been taught to them at a young age. So
I agree with
from 18 to 28, I was just voting just to be voting. And so by the time I got to be 30, then I started reading up on politicians and aldermen and stuff like that. I had to educate myself.
Mm-hmm.
But the young people have to ask the parents questions about learning who the alderman is. And a lot of the times they don't even go door to door. You don't even know who the aldermen are. Mm-hmm. So that's probably why the young people don't vote, because they don't understand the importance of voting or who the politicians are.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
Okay, hold it right there. I got another caller. 3625 caller. Where you calling from? Hey, caller. Okay, they gone. Regards. Okay. All right. Let me say this about voting, people. Voting. We have to be educated about voting. You know, a lot of times a young voter like me, I came up in a time, and I know we're in a different time, when Harold Washington, he was a dynamite politician. He was exciting. Somebody got to turn your Facebook down. I hear echo. I think that's you, Nate. Turn your Facebook down. Turn it down. Or put your phone.
Facebook on.
Okay, turn your Facebook on mute, man. Put it on mute. Put it on mute.
Oh.
Put your phone on mute. All right. You still can hear me. Put your phone. Okay. I came up during the time. Now, when Harold Washington first won, I believe I was 14 or 15. Then the second term he came, I voted for him. That was one of the first elections that I voted for. And I was excited about voting. I really was excited because I witnessed the work he done. And Mark, you can remember this. Remember years ago, you can ask your mom if you don't remember that on the South Side, we didn't get snow removal like that. I mean, I lived on Cottage Grove when I grew up. And that snow, during the blizzard, man, listen, but when Harold Washington got in there, he was pre-salting the streets. They was shoveling and coming. They hit all the big major streets, King Drive, Cottage Grove, all of Stony Island. Man, it was a totally different atmosphere when he got into the office. Go ahead, Marcus. You want to comment on that?
They used to line up on my street, 72nd. I mean, the salt trucks used to line up. Harold Washington got things done. That's why I don't understand black people talking about he wasn't in there long enough to. They're not looking at the little things that are actually big things. He got things done. Black people got contracts. He put black people in these parks to clean up these gang-infested parks. That happened. Ogden Park was a perfect example of it. He put Mary B. Smith in as a supervisor. She cleaned Ogden Park up. It used to really be bad before she got there. When Harold Washington got in there, he put the right people in the right places to do things. It wasn't until he died that regime fell apart and started turning on each other.
And let me say this, brothers. Most politicians, especially the ones that look like us, they feel like they don't owe us anything when they get in. They designate for other people. They feel like they don't owe us anything, brother. We don't demand nothing from them. And a lot of times they're riding off their influence. They get with the white people, and the white people tell them, hey, I don't see color. You better than the rest of them. You different and all that. And we don't get things done. Here's a pure example of some of these politicians right now, especially these black politicians. You only got in the office because we voted for you, especially for those that's in a predominantly black ward. You only got in the office, David Moore. You only got there because of black people. It was black people that got you there, David Moore. Bill, in the hundreds, it was black people that majority of black people voted you in there. So what's that other alderman lady? So it's Michelle Harris. Predominantly black people that got you in office. And see, y'all always come up with this stuff talking about, well, y'all don't know. Well, tell us what we don't know. Tell us what we should know. All of a sudden, you're so smart and we're not. All of a sudden, you know everything about the political arena because you're a politician now, and we voted for you. We don't know anything. We just politically dumbfounded. But one thing we do know, that you don't do nothing for the community. We got that much sense to know that you're not doing nothing for the community. We got that sense to know that all you doing downtown is skinning and grinning and getting paid. We know that. What politician really represents their community? What politician?
The way they should.
The way they should. Some of you got...
Well, Martin, let me answer that question.
Go ahead, Doc.
Alderman O'Shea, I might be pronouncing his name wrong, but the alderman over Mount Greenwood, look at Mount Greenwood and look at Bridgeport. They represent their community, and then go to the city council meeting. Young people, you can go to the city council meeting and sit in and watch it go down. You can't say nothing, but you can sit in and watch it go down. And that's the best education you can get. Once you see how it works, I think a lot of young people don't know how government works. They read about it, but they haven't seen it. And that's why I'm encouraging them to go to Springfield, sit there in the lobby, in the balcony, and watch them play Let's Make a Deal with Our Lives. Go to City Hall when they're having the meetings. Once this election is over with, whoever's mayor, they're going to have a city council meeting. Go to City Hall, sit up in that balcony, and just take note. Once you take note, you'll be able to step down on that floor and speak, because you'll know what to speak about.
And may I ask a question to Marcus and to you as well, Martin? Is it like, so Marcus, you talked about the one time you wanted to vote for a black candidate, there weren't any, and so you voted for Clinton. When you have the right to vote, isn't that also the right to refrain from voting? And like, can I protest? Can I say, you know what, I'm gonna sit out this round because instead of voting for this white man, I'm just not gonna vote? Is that, I mean, can you kind of speak to that if someone were to, of course.
I was told that if you don't vote, your vote will go to the other person. Now, I don't understand that process. Till this day, I don't understand that process. But that's what I was told. Martin, I don't know about you, but that's what I was told.
Yeah,
if you don't vote, your vote will go to the other person.
Similar. I was told same thing. Yeah, I was told that same thing.
But is it okay to just to kind of to hold yourself out if you're not feeling either candidate? Is it, I mean, what do y'all think about that?
I have done it. Let me just say
like
that.
Exercising that right.
I have done it.
And, you gotta learn how to play.
Right. You know, actually, when the Trump and Biden, I didn't like neither one of them. So I set that out. I didn't vote. I'm just personally, I set that out. I set that out. But I didn't go public with it and just say, hey, I'm not voting, because I know people look up to me, and what I say can bring some harm or some, or some righteousness. So what I did, I didn't really make a public statement. I didn't vote for neither. So that was me personally. I didn't like neither candidate. And I just said, no, I set it out. Not that because I didn't want to vote or anything like that. But actually, I did go vote. Now, I'll take that back. I went to go vote, but I didn't vote for either presidential candidate. I'll say that. That's what I did. And be honest with you. Let me tell the truth and shame the devil. So you do have some that don't like neither candidates, and they do sit out. But my thing is, and I say, if you don't vote, you have no right to complain because you didn't participate in the process. So if something goes on that you don't like or you don't agree with it, hey, you didn't vote. You didn't vote. Just
that makes sense. That make a lot of sense, right?
Right.
That make a lot of sense. Yeah.
Right.
I think I set out a mayoral. I think it had something to do with Daley, and somebody else was running up against Daley, and I didn't like neither one of them. Right. And I think I set out that one time I deliberately did not vote. But then that's when I was told, if you don't vote, your vote gonna go to the one that you don't like. Kind of makes sense. If you don't vote, then that's a vote that could have decided that whole election had I voted.
And let me ask you,
but then what if, I mean, who do you vote for though? Like, if you're not feeling either one, how do you go about that? Like, if I'm an 18-year-old, 19-year-old, this is my first time around, I'm not feeling either candidate, not necessarily this particular election that's coming up for the city of Chicago, but how do you approach that type of dilemma?
Well, I mean, I wish I could answer that question, but again, like I said, I set out an election because I didn't like it, and I felt that, hey, my vote, all the other people that's voting, that person still got a chance to win. I mean, that's the way I was thinking. I didn't know how important it was to really not vote. Had I voted, it would have made a difference, but me not voting, and then I was told your vote is going to go to the person that you don't like. I still don't understand that, but and maybe somebody from the Board of Elections could explain it to me if they're listening to your show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how that works, because you should have that choice not to vote. Sit it out. Because if you're not feeling them, you just not feeling them. They're not who you want.
But to Martin's point, I done had people come to me and they'll ask me, they'll knock on the door. Well, did you vote? They already know if you voted or not. They know exactly, based on your address, if you was a registered voter and if you participated. And so I've seen people not get that knock on the door. And sometimes, if they know you voted, and they know, let's say you're Democrat or Republican, they're knocking on your door. They might be able to do something for you if they know you with their party and they got your vote. So I have seen stuff like that, but not everybody get that knock on the door. And so, but yeah, it'd be a tough decision if I just wasn't sure what to do, and I just, it'd be very tough to say I do want to vote, but not for these candidates. And I guess there's independents and other people like that you can vote for. You can put Daffy Duck in there if you want to. You can put your own name. I mean, I've heard people say that as well, but it's almost like not voting at all. Oftentimes there's other candidates, of course, you can vote for, but I've been at the polls before, very puzzled at times, not sure what to do, or looking at all the other candidates, not knowing all the judges on here or this or that, and just like, man, okay, I got my primary candidate I'm gonna vote for, but I'm lost on the rest of this ballot.
And that comes from
you are not by yourself.
Man, I'm same way with me. You got to know who are all the players that's on the ballot, and we have to get involved. And when you don't get involved, and that's why it's so important. You like Mount Greenwood, areas like that where the race is at. Yeah, I said it. They teaching their people. See, they understand power. See, our people, we're thinking about money is power. Money is power, but we need power to change and right. It's a step to more power. Why you think you have politicians such as Willie Wilson and J.B. Pritzker running for $100,000, $200,000 job, and they millionaires and billionaires? That don't make sense, do it? Some of you right now, if you had a couple of millions of dollars, you'd be in the Caribbean somewhere, Africa, or somewhere in Philippines, enjoying yourself. You wouldn't be worrying about all this mess.
You'd be relaxing.
You'll be relaxing. So it's not just about money. They've shown you that we need power, people. Change policies. That's how you get things. Listen, when white folks see black people doing things that they don't like or approve of, guess what? They gonna make a law. Selling loose squares. Okay, we made a law. You can't sell your own cigarettes, even though you bought them, but you're not allowed to sell loose squares. A sagging law. Some states got a sagging law. You can't sag. Anytime they see us do something, I call them Jim Crow laws. That's all it is, to keep us back. And it's all what it is, people. It is what it is. It's the truth. Listen, black people, we've been ran out of the city. We've been overpriced with these homes and apartments and all that. Everything is skyrocketing high. Then those affordable housing and vouchers, they slow giving them out now. So it's a lot going on, people. And it's a war against this black skin. We're supposed to be 30% of the population here in the city of Chicago. But yet we in the low 20s and 10s and 1% of the jobs. It's of the city jobs. That don't make no sense. And they say this race ain't about racism. Hold on, Marcus. Why is it all the white people got all the jobs? Predominantly white people have all the jobs, the good government jobs. That's why they can build communities like Beverly and Mount Greenwood with a lot of city workers and all, because they got good government jobs, city jobs that you can buy homes with. We're not talking about no McDonald's and Walmart. And I'm not talking about those jobs. That's not even, I'm talking about careers. That's what I'm talking about. And I hear a lot of black people, there's jobs out here, but not a job to take care of no family. Man got 4 or 5 babies. He can't be working in no Walmart. He ain't gonna make nothing. Then your woman gonna look down on him because he ain't making no money. But go ahead, Marcus.
I'm gonna say this. I heard that a lot of people ain't getting jobs because of their credit score. How in the eight can you have a decent credit score when you ain't got a decent job? And a lot of people ain't getting jobs because of what's on their Facebook page. Facebook, social media is recreation. How does that affect you from doing your job at a company? That doesn't affect the way you do your job. And it's not a representation of the company. You're not a slave. The company don't own you because you work for them. You have a right to your recreational or personal life.
Yeah.
But your credit score, give me a break. to me, that's a form of racism by itself.
That's all.
They're judging you by your credit score. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How are we letting that go on?
You can't get an
We need to
apartment.
be on our politicians about that.
Yep. And if you have a felony, some places, if you have a criminal background, they're not going to rent to you. So it's
You know what else they're doing as well?
yeah. What is yeah?
One other thing they're doing real quick on jobs like Target or Walmart, where you got to get on that machine and they ask you about 10 of the same questions in different variations. First, they want to see if you answer the question consistently, but you can score 100% on it. But the amount of time you take per question, they're looking at that as well. Okay, he took 10 minutes on this question. Even though he answered the way we wanted him to, it took him too long to get to that conclusion. So, like a lot of that little stuff, too, they're discriminating on based on how quick and efficiently you can answer these questions. A lot of little slick stuff they're doing right now.
But we have seen.
That's what I say. Young people need to go pay.
Let me just say this, young people. When things like this happen, and when I educate a lot of people, I don't want to hear all that black stuff. I don't want to hear all that stuff. But then, as soon as it directly affects you, now your eyes and ears are open now. Now you want to pay attention to it. Listen, information is good, people. Information is like a defense. If I tell you, if you knock on door A, there's a man behind that doorway to blow your brains out. Now you got a decision to listen to what I'm saying, take it in mind, and be careful. And hey, that brother said, if I go behind this door, I need to listen, pay attention, just in case. So if I go in this door, I'm going to crack the door a little bit, just a little bit, and see. People, everybody, including some black people, don't like black people. They will find an excuse not to like you. And you can ask them, well, what did he or she do to you? I just don't like him. I don't know. It's just something about him. I don't like him. Don't you hear people talking like that? It's just something about him. I don't like him.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrible to judge somebody like that. That same person might come to your rescue one day and you might need them. And sitting in the job, and they might have to interview for the job that you want. And you look up and say, oh my God, it's a small world. Trust me. It's a small world. You have to be careful what you say about people. You don't know who their relatives are, what way they are related to them, or their friends or something. Listen, the world is small, people. And have you ever met them type of friends that when you name drop, they have something bad to say about everybody? You got to beware of those type of people too. The people that don't have nothing good to say about nobody. You need to put up warning signs when you see them. Marcus, I'm at this point now, when I talk to people, I'm talking to them as if everybody's wearing a wire now. And just how it is. We just living in that day and time. People are recording your conversations. They are allowing other people to come in and listen while you having private conversations. And that's the day and time that we're living in. It's not right.
Yeah, and trying to figure out a way to scheme you, running game on you, taking your kindness for weakness, and running game on you. And when they actually running game on themselves, and they don't know it. But this is the day and age we live in. Everybody's out for themselves. Everybody is out for themselves.
I want to follow up with some Marcus said real quick.
Hold on, no, I need you to hold it. Linda Richardson said, I want to know what's the solution to this black on black crime and the crime that has destroyed our city. I want to ask you a question, ma'am. What's the solution for Ukraine and Russia over there having a war, white on white crime? Give me a solution that's destroying their country over there. Give me a solution for that. Come on, I'm waiting on you in the messenger. Waiting on you in the messenger, Miss Linda Richardson. I want to wait. I'm going to address that question, but I need you to address mine. What's the solution of the war over in Russia with the white folks killing each other, white on white violence, and white on white crime? What's the solution? Matter of fact, I didn't even know. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, Marcus. And I didn't even know crime had a color. Mm-hmm. Have you ever known crime have a color?
Me?
Crime is crime.
No, not at all.
No. So, Linda, I don't know where you get that from, black on black crime, but crime is crime, no matter who it is. I'm waiting on your answer. Go ahead, my brother. Go ahead. That's right. Go ahead, my brother.
I wanted to just respond to Marcus real quick.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Something that Marcus hit on is that digital, and you as well, Martin, that digital footprint. It's things that you do. Once you put it on the internet, it stays there. So just going back to some of the things they can use in social media, so people think that they can hide it. Your best bet is to not even be on the internet doing anything personal, because it's people that can't even access old pictures they put on there because certain sites closed, and they can't even delete things that they put up there. Even if you're a changed person, there's some stuff that the internet is people that's stalking your page, that's recording everything, screenshotting everything, and even if you take it down, that digital footprint gonna be on there. And people sleeping on that these days. That digital footprint, anything you do, is copied, is Photoshop, any little thing. So anything you give to the net owns it. And everyone, you got to be very careful what you put out there. Very careful. So all these LinkedIn accounts, Facebook, TikToks, and all that stuff is, but once you put it out there, you don't own any of that stuff. So you got to be very mindful.
But what I don't understand is, how does that affect you from doing your job? People we live in America, right? You have the right. Social media started off as a recreational thing. And of course, they can't really govern it because it's the internet. They try to govern it, but they can't govern it because it's the internet. It's the highway. But that should not affect you from getting a job. People gonna be people. When people leave that job, they might go to the bar and get drunk. They might go to the club and go party and get loose. The people who own those companies are doing worse things than that. But that's just an excuse for not hiring people. The reality is they're telling us a lot of jobs out here, but it really ain't. And so they put all these obstacles in front of us to keep from hiring us, just like those stupid surveys. You used to just walk in a store and fill out a job application and wait on them to call you, or check the classified ads in the newspaper and call to see if you come in for an interview, and maybe you get hired on the spot. These stupid surveys asking you, do you want to go to college? And then they ask you 1,000 times, so many times before you get to the actual job application. You're going on there to fill out a job for CTA, not to fill out no insurance for no auto insurance or no free McDonald's. You're going on that site to get a job. Why you got to go through all these surveys? It's to make you get disappointed, quit, and not fill out the application. They have to do it.
Well, Marcus,
those job fairs, some of them were a joke. You had to show up, but the park already hired who they was going to hire. They just had to show up because it was the law.
Well, Marcus, a lot of these, and we know this, that they can't just not hire you based on your race, ethnicity, what you look like.
Well, that's what they say. So
how else can we accomplish these discriminatory practices? How else can we accomplish this? And so guess what? Ain't no more paper no more. So going into an establishment and getting a paper application is pretty much extinct. So that right there, if you're not proficient in using an actual computer, now you might be able to do it on your phone if you're lucky, but some of them have you sit down and do it on a computer. If you're not proficient in even using it, that automatically eliminates so many candidates, because you need a base level of literacy to even participate in doing this. So like I say, a lot of time they look at how long you took. Any candidate to fill out this application, it took more than 25 minutes, we're not even going to look at them. We need someone that's going to be able to get through all these 110 questions in under 25 minutes. I don't care if they ace these questions. If they took more than 25 minutes, don't even look at them. So they doing a little stuff like that. We need to see that you're even literate enough to even use this technology to get through this whole process, regardless of if you answered the questions right or wrong. So, you need a basic level of literacy. So yeah, we got jobs, and they're for everyone. Everyone come on out. So they can push the fact that we had 500 people come out to our open house. Okay, how many people did you hire for that? Maybe 25. How many people is there longer than 6 months? Maybe 3. You know what I mean? It takes multiple job fairs for them to have a staff of maybe 20 people that stick. Half of them people don't retain them jobs. You know what I mean? But they just pushing the fact that they got jobs and that people came out. But there's no long-term evidence that shows that these people have actually stayed here long-term, more than 6 months. It's all a joke.
It's all a joke. So
Yeah,
I mean, it's little stuff that it's little stuff that discriminate against. And see, most areas I've been told that have 700 and better credit scores, areas, you don't see a lot of carjacking a lot of that in that certain areas. We call them petty crimes. That's what they are, petty crimes. But the real criminals wear suit and ties. And like George say, they like the mouse, the rat, that always get the cheese and never get caught. Those are the real criminals, trust me. But what they do is they shine the light on lower level crimes, snatching and grabbing, boosting, robbing, breaking in cars. Those are lower level crimes. They don't talk about fraud, bank investments. Bank fraud, redlining. Those are crimes, people. Those are crimes. Those are crimes. Hate crimes. Discrimination. Crimes. Crimes of discrimination. They don't talk about that. Malpractice. They don't talk about that. Man, this is
Martin. Why do the people that commit the white collar crimes get less time than, let's say, the petty thief? Why is it that a carjacker get 8 years, someone that embezzled $500 million get 3 years? Why is that?
And that's strange. We call it. My buddy said those are Wall Street criminals. That is strange too. And that's like when I used to be out in the street. Somebody get caught with an 8-ball, a half ounce, they do 2 years. Here's a man get caught with a kilo, he might get probation. You know, it's always like that, man. It's strange, man. It's a system, man. It's strange. And we have criminals out here, big time criminals. We have police criminals, police that commit crimes. Police, two police was relieved of their duty on 111 for stealing guns out of the inventory. You don't hear about that, though. You don't hear about that. You don't hear about stuff like that too much. They don't want to talk about that. Yeah.
I read some of your comments where people are getting offended because you responded to that lady. But black on black crime is a sad definition.
Thank you.
When crime has no color, and that is the truth.
That is.
I mean, we always use black on black crime, but you just said it. Both of you all just said it. These people out here committing crimes on us every day. They committed a crime on us in Springfield, and we don't even know it.
Yeah.
They committed a crime on us at City Hall. We don't even know it because we weren't there to witness it. But crimes are being committed every day. What about those crimes?
And you let me say this. For whoever said it, whoever made the comment, listen to this. Black people here in America are made the face of crime. First of all, we wasn't the ones raping white people. We wasn't the ones that's feeding white children to alligators and crocodiles. We wasn't the ones that committing genocide, poison the water, poison the food. We wasn't the ones doing that. So I had to put that out there. That all those are criminal acts. Genocide. Those are criminal acts. That's what that is. So we don't have a history of criminals. So I don't know why black people in this country have made to be the face of crime in this country. Why? Why? And other black people have adapted that. I'm done with
then
that.
they might as well adopt that image of us being the devil.
Right.
Because that's what the white people are trying to do, make us look like we're the devil. They say that we are cursed. They say that we're cursed. We're not cursed. We're not cursed. Now, I go on the record for saying we are God's people, even though all of us are God's people, because there's some God-fearing white people too, some good white people. But we are God's people. We are not cursed. We became violent because we were thrown in the belly of a slave ship, told that we were the N-word, and our women was being raped in front of us. I mean, really, people don't understand how horrific slavery was. You can sit there and watch Friday the 13th. That ain't nothing compared to what the slaves went through. Watching their own family members being butchered in front of them, raped, kids being thrown to alligators, eaten alive.
They want to talk about that.
Wanted some alligator shoot.
They want to talk about. I got a new caller.
But they don't want to talk about that.
No, they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about. Hey, caller, 3248. You're live, uncut, unedited. Caller.
Good evening, Martin, and hey, what's going on, Martin?
Is that Roosevelt? Not Roosevelt. Belt. What's up, Roosevelt? How you doing? How you doing, brother? All right, let me.
Okay.
Okay.
How are you?
Let me ask you a question, Roosevelt.
Well, I don't know. I kind of want to.
Go ahead. Let me
Yes,
let you talk.
sir.
Go ahead, Roosevelt. I want to ask you a question, but go ahead, Roosevelt. Whatever direction you
No,
want to
you
go.
can. Go ahead.
Why is it that black people are made the face of crime here in America? Why?
I don't even know, because this is something I think that a whole lot of black people, also other black people, other than, some of us who could know better, other black people have fallen into too, along with white people, because I got a good friend of mine, one of my best friends, Cheryl Reese, she does some of the same stuff too, saying, well, black on black crime is worse than any other. But I have to always remind her that whites commit crimes against whites too. Latinos commit crimes against Latinos. And she's like, yeah, but, black people are doing it at record numbers. But I mean, I don't know of that and everything because, we're not the majority. And I just think that we just lumped in a whole lot of times with a whole lot of stuff going on. Just because it's something that people use in the narrative that people use to try to make us maybe look bad or, or in that kind of stuff. And of course, you find some younger people, because, you talk about it all the time because Martin, I know you chased crime many times. It's been a couple of times I've been with you on a crime scene like once or twice or so before. And it's like you have a whole lot of our young people who also fall into the stereotype, of certain things too. And, with the certain kind of music and everything that promotes crime and everything like that. So I would just say that if it's something, you don't want to be labeled as that, because, I don't think that me or you or none of us is that. But we know a whole lot of other people who are that, don't do some of those same things, or she'll still keep on being labeled that. But I do think at the end of the day that it's just a label that they put on all of us to make all of us look bad. Not to try to say that we don't have some people out there committing crimes, or like I said, some other people who are falling into the stereotype. But at the same time, it isn't all of us.
And, let me ask you another question, Roosevelt. And I'm going to ask my whole panel this. I'm going to start with you, Roosevelt. Why is it that in the mainstream media, we never hear white on white crime? Why is that? That's a question. I want to ask you that question first. Then I'll go on to the next person.
Well, I just think that, just like you don't hear Latino crime, you don't hear Asian crime, but especially you're not going to hear white on white crime because, the white community wants to sell you this narrative or tell this lie and act like, it's only black people who's committing all the crime. It's something that they want to do to try to make themselves look or appear innocent of crime. Because even when you watch the news, you hear a whole lot of stuff that's going on the west side and on the south side. But, but in reality, there's actually a whole lot going on the north side amongst white people, but that is something that they want to keep under wraps because they want to sell the solution that, they don't do anything wrong. first of all, and they don't commit any crime, but only blacks commit crimes. And the second group of people who will commit crimes to them will be Latinos, but they just want to act like they're just completely like pure and complete angels, and that, you know, us blacks and especially also Latinos are just the devils, and we're doing everything, when some of them actually are doing much more things and even doing much more horrific things. Because, you know, you never heard of any such thing as a black serial killer. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You never heard of a black person doing the same kind of stuff that Jeffrey Dahmer did, or that a Gacy did, or Ted Bundy did. But, you know, of course, if you ask them, you know, they wouldn't want to talk about all of that because they act like they don't want to do anything wrong, but yet they act like we're doing all the wrong.
Mm. Okay, next caller. Next caller.
I could speak to it. You know, America love a good slogan. They just love a good slogan, and that seemed to fit the slogan. You know, we got so many ones like that. Black Lives Matter. If it don't fit, you must quit. Black on black. Like it's just a nice slogan that fit the brand of America. Regardless of if it's right or wrong, it's consistent with their agenda and with their narrative that black people are bad, black people are dirty, black people are negative. If we're going to say it so much that we're going to have y'all believe it and see it. One great thing that you just did when that person commented, Martin, was you just denounced it. You didn't even give it no life. And you put it back on her. You know what I mean? And that's what we got to start doing. As soon as we got to start protecting the black brand and say, no, we're not even going to give that life. I don't even believe in that term or that slogan, and give it right back. Whoever give it to us, I'm going to give it right back to you. You know what I mean? Because just like Marcus was saying, in groups, fight in groups. You fight within your in group. You're going to kill within your in group. It happens all across the board. It's not just black people. None of the stuff that happens amongst black people is synonymous with black people. It happens all across humanity. It's just that we know who controls the media, including the newspapers, television, billboards, all this other social media, and so they can control it. It's white people that will admit they've never seen a black person in person until they got to college. You know what I mean? And so, but they have a certain perception about them and automatically feel in danger. You never even came across a black person and already have a certain perception. I've met these people. They say, man, look, everything I taught, I was lied about. You cool as heck. Just like that. Several times this has happened to me. And it's almost on us to appear non-threatening and all this other stuff. And we almost embody some of these things that they put on us. And we got to stop doing that. But basically, to your point, Mark, it's just a nice slogan that works for the brand of America. And it's just like all them other negative slogans about black people.
Let me just say something. I want to address something real quick. First of all, white people commit crimes here in the city of Chicago. White people invented drive-by shooting. White people invented drive-by shooting and carjacking. That's their thing. We adapted it. Trust me. You forgot where you live at here in the city of Chicago? All they did was drive-by shooting and taking people's cars, carjacking. Always have done that. They invented the game. All right? So I just want to get that out there. And let me say this. A white man, a white male, took a Chicago police officer gun away from him and shot, not in the air, but they wrote it in the newspaper. They just say he just shot the gun, but we know he shot it at the police officer. We know that. We're no fool. And he lived to tell about it. So don't come out here and talk about that black on black crime. Act like we the only one committing crime. Some of y'all need to relocate and just see there's other places outside the city of Chicago. Okay? Marcus, why is it the mainstream media use the word white on white crime?
First of all, the mainstream media is racist. They've always done it. Look, that's how Emmett Till got killed, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how Rosewood got burned down to the ground, right? Black people got killed. That's what happened with Black Wall Street. in Oklahoma, right? Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? The media has been the big instigator of race riots. The white media has, and I go on the record for saying that, right? Now, today, the sad part about this, the black media does the same thing, all because they want advertisement dollars, right? They go along with what sounds good, this black on black crime. They want to demonize us. They've always tried to paint us as being devils. And they're showing this to their kids, and they got their kids afraid of black people. We are peaceful people. Crime wasn't always in our community like it is now. It's in our community because they took away the resources. If they could take their buildings that they built, they would have took them too and left us with holes in the ground, right? So we live in a country, we thought the civil rights movement freed us. It didn't free us. We're still not free. We're mentally enslaved. We're still in the Jim Crow era. Jim Crow just went in disguise. Institutionalized racism is the worst form of racism. So the media is flat out racist. That's why when our kids are caught carjacking, they blast it all over the screen. But when their kids get caught, you don't see a picture. You don't see a picture. You don't hear the word thugs. When those kids rioted in Baltimore, the media was calling them all type of thugs. Even our so-called black president was calling them thugs, right? Had him calling them thugs. Had the mayor of Baltimore calling them thugs. They were tripping on the kids breaking tearing up a police car that don't even have light to it. They would lock a kid up for hitting a police dog, right? I love dogs, don't get me wrong. But a police dog, seriously? So they try to demonize us. They try to demonize us on all levels. It doesn't matter if you're an athlete. It doesn't matter if you're a politician. It doesn't matter if you're a supermodel. It doesn't matter if you're a photographer, if you're the crime chaser, anything. They look for any reason to demonize us, especially our civil rights leaders. Look how many times they tried to go after Harold Washington and lock him up, but they couldn't get it. So they only brought down R. Kelly and Michael Jackson and Bill Cosby and all of them to prove to us that no matter how rich you are, you will always be a nigga to them. I said it on your show, and I'm not using it in the wrong way. I'm making a statement. You will always be beneath them. No matter how rich you are, no matter how politically educated you are, no matter how many degrees you got, you will always be beneath them because they see themselves as the supreme race and anybody else is beneath them. And so they want to make us look bad so they can exterminate us. They want to exterminate us. They want to make us go extinct. The original Australians, which was the Tasmanian people, went extinct. They were black people. They want to extinct us. They want us to be in the Smithsonian somewhere, as former candidate for president Ross Perot said. And nobody caught that in the 90s. I did.
Okay. I want to say too, the trolls going to be on this live because they can't call in, so they're gonna let them type. So I don't care about them typing in the message. It don't make me a difference as long as they're not calling in.
I wouldn't even give them no
right. I ain't giving. I'm just saying, Troy. I ain't calling out no name. I'm just saying I ain't giving them no. I ain't even thinking about them. That's why they can't call in here. And I leave it at. And they spies. I ain't getting it. They spies either. Yeah. So I understand, gentlemen. And listen. We have to know that we have to educate ourselves about how the white man treat us and the schemes and the things that he's doing. They're trying to set us back. And we all know that the immigrants are sent over here in America, asked to come by Democrats and Republicans. They playing this game on black people. Like we not allowing them to come over and we don't all that. Come on now. We know better than that, people. Who got the jobs over in this country? White people. They promising them, if you come over here in America, we'll give you this. We'll do this for you. We'll do that. They promising them that. See, and you got some black politician knows that, but they're afraid to come out and say it. They're afraid to come out and say it. It's a new day here in America. They don't no longer want black politicians and black presidents and black principals and all that. They don't want that. That's a threat to their society, to their system. They want to be able to control you. Well, if you don't do what they say, I'm going to send you back to your own country. So it's a fight out here, people. Or kill you. Put you in jail. So that's my story, people. I'm sticking to it. And I'm thinking about it. It's 1:45. Roosevelt, closing comments. Closing comments. You can take 5 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, it's always good to be on your live, Martin. First of all, good to hear Marcus, and I don't know who the other gentleman and everything was.
That's West Side.
But West Side. Okay. But I wanted to say too that we should never fall into the whole thing of letting them or letting the mainstream media make us look bad and everything as people. Even though us as people, we do, looking at it from the other side, because we do see a whole lot of crime on the Southwest side, even North side or whatever. Us as just like people in general, maybe just need to clean up our acts and maybe do certain things different. But at the same time that the mainstream media and certain groups of people shouldn't look at all of us like we're bad and all of us like we're criminal, because people like me and you, Martin, even Marcus, I could put him in it because I completely know him too. We're not all of that that the media says that we are. We don't fall into the stereotype. I mean, we don't fall into the stereotype of sagging our pants, and we don't fall into the stereotype of listening to this crazy music. I got one girl who I go to church with. As soon as we get out of church, even last week, she decided to drop me off and everything. She puts on this crazy rap music and everything talk about I need to get into my mode. What the heck? I don't. You just get out of church. I don't get it. So clearly, it's some of us who fall into the stereotype, but yet at the same time, it's not all of us. So I just think that all of us in Black Chicago just need to just stand up, just stand together, and just make it all strong and everything.
Okay. All right. West Side. You next, West Side.
Well, one thing that I just want to thank you, Martin, and all the guests. One thing that I don't think happens enough is that Black men come together to have civil dialogue. And what you provide here, Martin, women come on here as well. This is a safe space to come and voice your opinion. And I've always felt safe coming on here, and especially with this group that's on right now. I need more of that. And I think this show does more for me than just to speak with people who are older than me that appreciate my perspective and vice versa. And just to be able to come and talk about these things. A lot of times in these communities where we occupy, we don't have safe spaces where we can come together in a group and just talk about things. I've done that in college. I've done that when I was younger. I participated in group discussions, but I haven't really found that many communities as an adult where I could do that. And so this has become that. And guess what? Instead of being out in the club or anything else I would be doing, which I wouldn't be at this point in my life, but I'm at home and I'm I'm interacting in this conversation, which keeps me out of a lot of stuff that I wouldn't otherwise be in, but still, it's a lot of people that's tuning in with you that could be doing something else. And I think this is saving lives, having conversations, making people think different. And although I might have some opposing viewpoints, you all have made me think different about the voting process. Because I have been on the fence about a lot of things. And just listening to you older brothers, like, it really makes more sense, and understanding the fight that our ancestors have to go through to even get these rights. Like, I'm listening. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really listening. And so I just appreciate you all reminding us the power of it and where it came from and why it's so important. Because it's so easy to just think about currently what's going on, and a lot of things is shifting in the world, and how a lot of, especially the youth, they're not participating in they're becoming more quote unquote woke and not participating in a lot of things like marriage and politics and education. It's a lot of different things they're doing now. But you can't neglect or negate a lot of stuff that's happened before. And so we keeping that history alive. And I just appreciate that. I appreciate you all keeping that history alive because it's helping me see my future. So that's all I'm going to say. I appreciate the platform. I think it was an excellent discussion tonight. And I look forward to what you get to talk about tomorrow.
Okay, appreciate it. Marcus, you're live, uncut, unedited. Closing remarks.
Well, my closing remarks will be, this platform is a great platform. I've been on many other platforms, and they don't allow you to really express yourself because you're on a time. But it's been a lot said here tonight, and I'm glad that we can agree to disagree and not be mad with each other. I'm standing behind this particular candidate, not only because he's Black, but because we need somebody in City Hall that's not going to shut down all the schools and privatize all the city jobs and so on. I hope the young people will take a turn. I'm not telling you to turn off the rap music because some people, they play music that they like that sets them in a mood, in a relaxation mood, and that's okay. But don't go out there and act out what they're talking about in those rap videos because they're going to go home after that video is over with. But you go out there and shoot somebody, you're going to get caught by the police. You're going to get tried in the court of law. And if you murder somebody, you're going to be put behind bars. And then it's going to mess you up mentally. You know, so think about what you're doing. Get out and vote. Your vote is important. And if you don't know anything about politics, go ask. Go to your local alderman's office. Or better yet, call 311 and ask them. This may sound stupid, but tell them I'm a young person and I really want to get into the voting process. I don't know how to do it or who I should vote for. Where do I go to get educated on that? And they should be able to tell you something. They should be able to give you some information, young people. You can fight without throwing a brick at the police. You can fight the police without creating a scene because he's the man with the badge and the gun. You fight him in court. You fight him through putting the right people in office that's going to pass laws that will get that cop fired and make that cop pay for his actions or her actions. You can win. Don't think that you can't win. And not all Black kids who wear their pants saggy is bad kids. It's just a fashion. And we had our fashions that our parents did not like. You know, it may not have been saggy pants, but we had fashions that our parents did not like. It's a fashion, and that fashion will one day play out. And then they'll be telling their kids they don't like the way they're dressing. So it's going to continue. We just need to learn to listen to each other. We need to let the young people talk a little bit more. We need to sit and listen and then speak. And sometimes we might have to sit down and listen for a long time and not say anything. Just let them talk. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking what I know because I did that at the Park District with a boy. He came in and he was telling me about his life for 3 weeks straight. I sat there at that counter and listened to him. And then on that 4th week, I spoke to him and told him, you don't want to know why your mother kicked you out? Because she's concerned about the safety of the other kids. And you're bringing drama to her house that will get her and the other kids killed. Do you want your little brothers and sisters killed? No. I said, now, do you understand why she kicked you out? So we need to listen. We need to listen to them. And maybe we can help them solve some of these problems.
Thank you. All right, I got another caller. Come on, 1, 2, 3. We're going to close it out with you. I'm trying to get off here. 1, 2, 3. Go ahead.
Okay, how you doing, Brother Martin? Yeah. I was just educating myself, listening to you guys, man. But just to rebuttal off what Brother Marcus said, as far as some of these young kids, yeah, I do get it. We do need to listen to them a little more, but some of them, it just ain't no talking to. You know, no matter how much we listen, it's always going to be a rebuttal. And even when we're trying to teach them through the experiences that we've been through. It's just kind of hard. They feel like they got more experience than us, and that's where they go wrong at. But I ain't really have much to say, man. You know, blessings to you, brothers. Good show tonight. I caught the last of it. You guys continue on.
Thank you. I want to thank all my panel for coming in. I want to thank all my trolls because you make my numbers go up. Thank you so much for making my numbers go up. Thank you, trolls. Thank you. I want to congratulate all my trolls and all that. But you will be disappointed on April the 4th. Brandon Johnson will be our next mayor of the city of Chicago. Matter of fact, he probably would be our youngest mayor ever. I tell you, go vote. Go early vote, people. Go early vote. Vote your choice. My choice is Brandon Johnson. Whatever your choice is, hey, that's between you and the candidate in your area. But I believe Brandon Johnson will better Chicago. Trust me. And for all those of you that's concerned about public safety, I am the crime chaser. I live crime. I study it. I watch it. I observe it. And I know by watching it that you can put a police officer on every corner. You'll never stop crime. One thing I do know, that crime is a $1 billion industry. And if crime stops, jobs are going to be laying off. Trust me. The very same people.
America stops.
Yeah. The very same people that complain about the crime is showing up fanning the crime. They fanning the flames. They have put the drugs in the community. They put the guns in the community. They have took all the resources out of the community. And I always say, if you put two starving lions in a cage together, what you think is going to happen? They're going to kill each other. And that's what you see in some of these high crime areas, that no resources, limited resources, I would say. And the few the resources there, everybody's fighting against each other to get them, cutting each other's throat. So that's where I'm at with this. People, I appreciate you. This is Live Uncut. And don't ever let no black person tell you that you can be racist, black man or black woman. You could never be racist. You have no power to be racist. Now, you can't be prejudiced. You can't be biased, but you can't be racist. So just remember that. And never let a person tell you don't vote for somebody because they look like you. You vote, that's your vote. You do what you want to do. I vote majority of the times because the person is black. And that's why I vote. And that's my choice. That's my choice. Now, not in every case that I have voted black. I don't want to be lying now. But the majority of me voting is I'm voting for a candidate that looks like me. We've given white America 400 some years to get it right. And here we are, 2023, and they still haven't got it right yet. I'm going with the brother. And if he act up, I'll go with another brother. If he act up, I'm going with another brother. And so on and so on and so on until we find the right one that's going to do the right job by his people. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. As Dr. Charles Hayes said, I'll run before I take it back, and then I'll add more to it. Good night. Live.
You already know what it is.
What is it?
Live, uncut.
This is where we
tell the truth.
And what?
And shame the devil.
Now, I don't know about you, but
I love being black.
Again, I don't know about you, but I
love being black.
Good night, good people.